स कामान् कामकामाय मह्यं कामेश्वरो वै श्रवणो ददातु कुबेराय वै श्रवणाय महाराजाय नमः। यो वेदादो ईश्वर प्रोक्तो वेदान्ते च प्रतिष्ठितः तस्य प्रकृतिलीनस्य यः परस्य महेश्वरः। स्वस्य प्रजाभिः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः। गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यां पृथिवी सस्यशालिनीं देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः। कुबेराय वै श्रवणाय महाराजाय नमः। न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकं नेमा विदितो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तम् अनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। ओम नमः पार्वतीपतये हर हर महादेव। गोविंद नाम संकीर्तनं गोविंद गोविंद। ओम दुर्गां देव्यै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये दुर्गां देव्यै नमः। Okay, with that, let's start. Okay. Okay. The early morning time is good for meditation. So we thought we'll start with a meditation session just to introduce the topic. Okay. Meditation, when you talk about, there are hundreds of types of meditation depending upon what you want to achieve through that meditation. Even Reiki, etc., can be talked about as a form of meditation. Okay. So, the traditional definition of meditation is Saguna Brahma Vishaye Manasa Vyapara. A mental activity with respect to Saguna Brahma. Saguna Brahma means Ishvara, Bhagavan, what is popularly known as God. Okay. So with respect to that, a manasa vyapara, a mental activity. So anything from a mental worship onwards, a manasa puja onwards, can be taken as meditation. Some aspect of Ishvara needs to come in, of Bhagavan, of God needs to come in. So it can come in various ways. Okay. I will include some modern forms also as part of meditation, where they are not explicit in terms of Ishvara, because many modernists do not want to, we have this tendency we should be secular, so don't show any one particular religion, etc. That's fine. That's fine. If that's what they want to do, I'm okay with that. They have the freedom to do that. But some aspect has to be there, and generally when you look at these, it is there. Even when you are looking at energy work, meditation, etc., it's all there. So keeping this in mind, all this can be meditation. Then in Vedanta, when they say do Vedantic meditation, what they mean is Nididhyasanam, contemplation. Which is after you have gained some insights into the truth. Whereas the Saguna Brahma meditation, the normal what we know as meditation, can be done by anyone, anytime, whether you listen to Vedanta or not. So what is the purpose of this meditation? If you are looking at it in a broad manner, in the broadest sense possible, fundamentally needs to help your mind be more contemplative, more calm, more peaceful, more contemplative, more focused. So many of the meditations will be divided into either focus meditations or generalized awareness meditation. A generalized awareness or focus. Many of you are into yoga. Tratak also will be form of meditation because it's total focus. When you focus on your thumb or you focus on a flame, etc., candle flame, in a way that's also meditation. Though it is in yoga, they don't put it as meditation, they'll put it as Tratak. Very good for your eyes. Okay. I have not been doing enough probably. Okay. So that is another form of meditation. Okay. Focus. Or diffused awareness where you are just sitting, just being aware of everything. That helps you with more contemplativeness. Worship of Ishvara, etc. Contemplativeness. Mental worship. Okay. Contemplativeness. So broadly there will be these two categories. Then there are others where you focus on your breath, you take it to different things, etc. These are all part of energy work. Okay. For those who go into those things. So if you look at the type of meditation, huge. Okay. Huge range of it. Here, what are we interested in? As students of Vedanta, we all live a life of Karma Yoga. That means all our actions, Ishvara Arpana, and result is taken as prasada. This is the prasada as grace from the Lord. When you live a life like this and take care of your hurt, pain, guilt, etc., that is there. Okay. If some psychological work has to be done, good to do that. If it is nothing serious, then offering it to the Lord, except to the Lord, to Bhagavan, it's enough to take care of it. Take care of it. So, if you have been living like that, your mind has a relative peace to it anyway. Why? There are no regrets of the past, you have taken care of that. Past regrets, etc., you have dealt with it. And worry, anxiety for the future is also gone because you have a sense of acceptance. Whatever happens, you will accept it and then deal with it. So your worry, anxiety, etc. is also lowered. With these two things, naturally your mind has a certain degree of quietude. But in today's world, or in any world for that matter, there is always a tendency for the mind to jump around here and there. It's a natural tendency of the mind to be haywire. Okay. So all our so the meditative work that we do help you quieten that mind and be with yourself. So the mind can remain where you have placed it. The mind can remain where you have placed it. Sometimes it's difficult for people to remain where they are sitting also. I see some people have disappeared. They're going to pick up some water, this, that, etc. Understandable. You're doing it at home. So normal disturbances will be there. Yeah. Those are there. Yeah. True. So now we are talking about the mind remaining where it should be remaining. Okay. Alright. So all that will come under preparation. So today we'll do some preparatory meditation and tomorrow I'll introduce you to Nididhyasana. I mean 2 days are too short for it actually speaking. But thinking that most of you may be suffering from some Zoom fatigue. You're working on your laptop, work from home. You're meeting your friends on this. Everything is on the Zoom. So you all must be fatigued. We cut down the camp only to 2 days. Okay. Yeah. So with that, let us start this process. Okay. Of getting into this contemplativeness. Okay. And there are various steps in it. There are various steps in it. You can, when you're doing it on your own, elongate or shorten any particular step that you have, this, depending upon what you need. I expect a certain level of self-awareness from people. So, depending upon your level of self-awareness, you could elongate or shorten any of the steps. Okay. So, certain questions, I know there are some of my students may feel these are basic questions, but it's worth dealing with it. Best time for meditation.
हमारा सेल में कैसा करने का है? हेलो,
Okay, the best time for meditation. Can you all, if you can't control, if you all cannot control the disturbances at your home, please mute your mic. Please mute your mic. Especially during a meditation session, we don't want other conversations coming in between. Okay. Yeah. So, best time for meditation. Whenever you are rested and you are alert. Okay. Even if you have done some physical activities, etc., it's fine. Normally, people who do yoga will say, okay, because I'm doing yoga early morning, we'll start with a morning meditation, then do pranayamas and asanas. Though generally speaking, the reverse order is better. First asanas, so that you're physically fine, the energies are flowing well. Then some pranayama practice which will automatically quieten your mind to an extent. Then go into your meditation. Okay. Those who follow that. Okay. Those who are very restless, either do some asana pranayama or any form of exercise, then have a wash and sit down for meditation. Because if you are very restless, too much of energy, restless energy in you, you need to calm that down a bit. That's why some of the modern teachers brought in dancing meditation, etc. into it, which I am not very much in favor for, but if somebody wants to do it, okay. Okay. You could get into some animal flow movements, etc. if you want to, that will help. Okay. All right. With that much on, let us start. Okay, best time. And you sit. How do you sit? The asana that is prescribed is Sukhasanam. Now, what is Sukhasana? In yoga, there is a particular structure. In Vedanta, we will say, where Sukhena Brahma Chintanam Bhavati, where happily you can think of Brahman, comfortably you can think of the reality. So, what is that posture? You decide where you are comfortable. All we need is that your spine is erect, base is comfortable, and it's a posture you can hold for some time without feeling the need to move. You have a certain balance and a comfortable posture. It can be on the ground, it can be on the chair, it can be anywhere. You're fine with that. Okay. And once you sit, you see that your spine is erect. Eyes and mouth gently closed. Gently close your eyes and mouth. See, look at your face. You're not clenching your face. You're not focusing or anything. There's no frown on your face. There is no need to focus on anything. Your facial muscles are relaxed. Neck muscles. Go over your body to see that everything is relaxed. Your neck muscles relaxed. Shoulders, arms, forearms, palms and fingers, all relaxed. Chest muscles relaxed. Stomach relaxed. Sides relaxed. Upper back, lower back relaxed. Waist and hips relaxed. Thigh muscles relaxed. Knees, calf muscles, shin, ankles, feet and toes. Look at your body in one sweep of vision from the head to the toe. It's all relaxed. To help you quieten your mind further, just pay attention to your breathing. Breathing happens, you are just paying attention to it. This is prana ikshanam, just watching your breath. You are not doing a pranayama, you are just watching. Now invoke the Lord in whatever manner you can relate to him or her. And offer a mental worship, a worship that you would do outside in harmony with your own culture and background. Do that mentally. The only rule is make it as vivid as you can. Complete that worship and do the final arati. The final arati is always camphor. Offer that arati to the Lord. See the Lord's face being lighted up in the light of the camphor. Put down the arati plate, take the arati yourself. Get the smell of the camphor when you do that. And now you sit down. You invoke the devotee out of yourself, the one who accepts the Lord's will, and now take a dispassionate look at the people in your life. Your partner in life. Your partner in life. Accept that person for whatever he or she is. Generally, you want to change something about that person. That's okay. You can change afterwards. Right now, accept. Just accept that. Even to change something, you have to accept it first. So accept that. The absence of a partner, accept that as well. Sometimes there may be a need to put some space between you and your partner. Emotional, physical, whatever. Accept that fact as well. Sometimes there may be a need to work on some aspects. Accept that as well. Your children. Your job is to nurture and structure them. They can be quite a handful. Accept that. Maybe they know more with you. They are some foreign clime. Accept that as well. They have grown their wings and they have flown away. Accept that fact. Your parents. Sometimes when you have older parents, it can be quite a handful, quite challenging. Accept that as well. Your colleagues, accept them. Your superiors, some bosses can be a pain. That's a good lesson what type of a boss I should never become. Accept them for what they are. Your juniors, accept them for what they are. Your friends is easier. Accept them for what they are. Your neighbors may be a bit difficult. Accept them for what they are. The pandemic situation that we are facing, accept them. Accept that situation for what it is. Any other situation you are facing in your life, accept it for what it is. We'll accept and deal with it the best we can. Right now, just accept it. your in-laws, outlaws, etc. Accept them for what they are. When you consciously accept, you give up your resistance to the world. You give up your resistance to people and situations. Only then can truly proactive solutions emerge. The less resistance you have, the more at peace you are. Tyagat shantiranantaram. The moment you give up, you are at peace. Immediately. With that, now that you accepted the world around you for what it is, you will sit down for your japa. Any mantra that you may have received from any guru or any person is fine to deal with. Is fine to be used here. Okay? I generally use this mantra in my classes for the simple reason that it is the word Isha is used in various religions. 3 or 4 of the major religions in the world use the word Isha. So I use the simple mantra Om Ishaya Namaha. So in the beginning, when the mantra is there, focus on the mantra. When the mantra dies down, focus on the silence. Focus on the silence. And later, just keep focusing on the silence. You'll find the mantra comes and goes. What remains is you, the silence. So let us start. Om Ishaya Namaha. 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 Om ईशाय नमः. ॐ ईशाय नमः. ॐ ईशाय नमः. ॐ ईशाय नमः. ॐ ईशाय नमः. Before the chant there is silence. After the chant there is silence. You are the one that is watching the silence. The one that watches silence is silence. In you the silence, the chant is born. Into you the silence, the chant dies down. Look what is happening. The chant is born in you, it dies down into you. Om Ishaya Namaha. 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 The whole world enters you as a sound or as a sensation, a perception. All that is born in the silence that you are and dies down into the silence that you are. Because all the stimuli that you receive from the world is nothing but a thought. That thought is born in you, the silence, dies down into you, the silence. You are that silence. You cannot be disturbed by any thought. Like right now, my words are creating cognitive thoughts in you. It does not disturb the silence that you are. Watch the chant rising in you, dying down into you. Om Ishaya Namaha. 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 The silence, awareful being, is what you are. The simple being. Drop free from all roles, free from all thoughts. Thoughts come and go. You are the silent being, the silent, awareful being. Om Ishaya Namaha. Om Ishaya Namaha. Om Ishaya Namaha. Om Ishaya Namaha. Om. Silence. Awarefully silent. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamugacchate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. You can open your eyes and come back to normal thinking. Cup your eyes if you want to. Now, as part of this meditation, I'll also deal with one or two problems that can come up here when you meditate. Okay? The first one, of course, the most common one, is feeling sleepy. At least this time we are doing the meditation at 8 o'clock. In our camps, we do it a little earlier, about an hour earlier, 7 o'clock. But keeping all your work at home issues involved, we said we'll start at 8. So, sleepiness is natural because our mind is not used to be awake and not thinking. Either you are awake and thinking or not thinking and asleep. These are the general two states your mind is familiar with. Now we are trying to make your mind awake but not thinking of anything in particular. It's a knack to be developed, a knack of being with yourself. So in the beginning, some sleepiness, etc. is natural. So that's why they say, wake up fully, do some activity before you meditate, have a bath, a cup of coffee is fine. I mean, those who are into yoga will say no tea, no coffee, etc. That's okay. They forget that tea was discovered by the monks. Okay, the Shaolin monks drank a lot of tea and they were great meditators. Sitting down meditators, moving meditators, everything. The old Vajramushti warriors, they are the ones who first discovered tea. Okay. So, perfectly fine to have the tea, coffee, whatever is necessary. So, when you are alert and you are meditating, the second thing that will come up is distraction. Mind going here and there. That is why we slow it down. Start by relaxing your body. Start by watching your breath. And Manasa Puja, so that all your issues are offered to the Lord. And then we look at the people, situation in life, accept them. All this is meant to knock down those distractions. But your mind will go. It's natural. So, being alert enough to bring back that mind is part of that meditation. Krishna says that in the Gita. As the mind goes out, keep bringing it back. That is then your attempt at meditation. Mind goes out, you bring it back. Mind goes out, you bring it back. That's why the japa becomes important. Because when you find the mind has gone, start the japa. Then it will help you focus. Mind goes, japa back. There are two more major issues which we will handle tomorrow morning after the meditation class. So, if there are any questions etc., you can either ask or put it in your chat box with respect to meditation. In the evening session, we will have a proper satsang, a question answer session. Now, we restrict it only to your practice now. If there is anything, you can put in your chat or put your video on, raise your hands, we will find you. Okay. Now, okay, good. As you practice, of course, questions will come up. You can always be in touch with me for that. So, what are normal? All of you have got the schedule for the day. Okay. Between 9 and 10 we have a break, so you can finish your breakfast, etc. Whatever little work you have at the home. Then 10 to 12:30 we will meet up again. Would you all like a break in that 10 to 12:30? I think it will be good to have a break. 11:15, halfway down, we'll have a small break. We can go have a cup of tea, coffee, whatever, water break, whatever you want to do, and then come back again. And of course, we have a longish lunch break up to 4 o'clock. Then 4 to 6 we'll have a session and wind it up. Okay. I assume all of you are comfortable with this. Okay. Yeah. The assumption, because that's the normal schedule we have in our camp. Though the camp we have a satsang later, here we have included the satsang in the evening session. So that dinner, etc. in the camp you don't have to bother about it, because we ensure that it is ready. Because we are in a setup which takes care of it. Here you are at home, you have to take care of it. So this camp also will be online. Next camp I am sure we can do offline. Okay. We can all physically meet up. Okay. We have already sent them a mail with the tentative dates, etc. sometime in August, asking them which dates they are free, so that we can also adjust accordingly. Okay. So that is for today, right now, morning session. Okay. Yeah, about few minutes early, we are knocking off, unless there are any questions. If there are any questions, shoot. Okay. Nothing in chat. Okay. And I'm trying to see whether is there anyone raising their hands or something, so that, and they want to know. No. No, I can't find that either. Okay, I can't find that either. Okay. I have one request to everyone. I mean, I'll make that request again, because most of you were on time, but some of you were not. So what happens is, if it's in a live camp, you can quietly slip in at the back and sit down, but here it's a bit of a disturbance for to be admitted in. Okay, Prashant Mohan, I said I have a question with regards to japa. Please shoot, Prashant. What is it? Put in the question straight away. Where is Prashant now? Yep. Prashant, are you putting it in the chat? What do we focus on during the japa? That's the question. What do we focus on during the japa, since the chanting is not loud? Well, it's up to you. If you want to keep it loud in the beginning, you can keep it loud, as long as you're not going to disturb people at home. Eventually, it has to be mental. You focus in the beginning on the sound on the japa, the mental sound that you have. And when the japa is not there, on the silence. Since all of us have mental chatter, we can understand the mental japa and the silence also there. So you focus on the japa, silence. Japa, silence. Japa, silence. Then slowly it will shift to silence, japa, silence. Silence, japa, silence. After some time it will become silence. Japa comes up, but silence. Silence. Japa plus silence. Silence. It will shift to that. Until finally you can drop the japa completely and be in silence. Until you will be able to command a silent mind whenever you want to. Mental sound is what I am not clear about. Take the mental sound as a chant. It is not that there is a sound. It's only the chant that you have, the thought that you have. As I said, all sounds enter you only as a thought. So even when you are listening to the loud chanting, it can enter you only as a thought. That sound is converted in your mind to a thought. So what you are hearing is the thought. What you are objectifying is the thought. So the thought, when the thought is there, chant, and silence when the Silence is there. Don't expect to hear any sound, etc. Okay. Now there are some forms of meditation where some sounds, etc. are there, but not this. Not this. In this type of meditation, if you are hearing some sound, it must be a stomach rumbling for breakfast. Okay. Not anything else. In this type of meditation. There are other types of meditation. Yeah. Okay. Do we need to hold breathing a little longer? Is it good during japa? Please don't. Let your breathing happen. Let breathing happen. When your thoughts are quietened, your breathing will also become slower, gentler. But let it happen. Don't force anything with your breath. Is it necessary to arrest the thoughts or let them go wild? We are not, definitely not, it's not going wild at any time. It need not go wild at any time. We are trying to focus on the silence that we are. Get back to being what we really are. This is your true self, which you will understand more in the class that we are doing. Just being with yourself. Japa is nothing. This is only nothing but trying to be with yourself. Yeah. So don't let the thoughts go wild. Okay. At any time. Wild thoughts at any time can be a problematic setup. Unless you are in a wild situation. Okay. Now I don't want to imagine what wild situation that can be. You can do that. Yeah. So good place to stop. Take a break. And we'll meet again at 10 o'clock sharp. Okay. Om Tat Sat.